This video is going to be kind of short. Um, let me turn this thing off. I can freeze for about 10 minutes. Um, uh, it's cold out here in Pittsburgh. It's under 10 degrees today here in Pittsburgh at 1:07 p.m. And this video is going to be kind of short. I've got to get in the shower and get to work. Let's see if I can fix this here. Why does it look so lopsided? Anyway, why does it look lopsided? Hold on, people. Let me figure out why this looks so lopsided. That's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. I think there's that little tiny strip behind there. This is DeRoy Cruz, your life applications officer. I recently, just yesterday or the other day, did videos on the Red Ice Network. I did about 5 videos, 6 to be exact, on the Red Ice movement and other movements like it. What I want to say real fast is that why do people really honestly separate themselves from others? And as I said in the last video, the last 5 videos that I've done, if you have something that is positive and it's good, why wouldn't you want to share it with other people? It's one thing if you have something that is, once it's gone, it's gone. You can't reproduce it. Like, let's say my art materials. I'm not giving you my art materials. You gotta go get your own. Okay, my Schecter guitar. They don't make that model anymore. Okay, and the new one that replaced it is I guess supposed to have a little softer look or something about it. And this guitar ain't the best thing that ever happened to me, but it is my signature guitar, and I'm not giving that up. I'm not even giving that up. Maybe when I get my next signature guitar, I'll give that up as a collector's item, but it will always be part of my collection. It's priceless. No one's getting it. The only way they're getting it is if I accidentally break it in half, on a trip or something. But nobody's gonna touch that guitar. Okay. But when it comes to something that you have that is beautiful, that is good, why wouldn't you want to share it, first of all? If you can teach me how to cook, okay, why wouldn't you want to teach me how to cook something for my family? Okay, that would better our health, or something that we would enjoy, something that would cause us to get to know you and get closer to you through food. Most of my videos that I've done has been yelling and screaming at black people because of the nonsense of white hostility, of blacks being hostile towards white people, like white people are even the majority population anymore. I don't see just white folks everywhere I go anymore. I see everything but black folks. Let me say that again. I don't see white folks anymore when I go out of my house and I go into the local stores and I'm buying and selling, whether it be online or in the stores or wherever. I don't see just white folks making money and living large. I see everybody but black folks. And then when I walk backwards out of the store and I see the natives that live in that town but can't even afford to buy and sell in their own town, then I begin to see black folks. Not only black folks, people, but I see Asians. And I talked about that in my screaming and yelling at the Red Ice Network. I see Asians out there that are collecting welfare and having trouble, you know, with their finances and finding a home and so forth. You know, the difference is these Asian families that are poor, they're going to make sure their kids go to college, most of them, and I've seen that. Somehow they get their kids into college, whether it's they take all their money off themselves and invest it into their children, or whether they just get help from the government to put their kids through college, which I think it goes both ways for them. But and I've heard some Asians talk. I've talked to some Asians, and they told me how they invested, or rather, let me rephrase that. I've talked to some college kids that are Asian, or I've heard college kids that are Asian talk to white kids that are in the same college, and I've heard them say their parents invested everything into them for them to go to college. They cut back on bread and meat and vegetables. They didn't eat the way they wanted to eat because they wanted their kids to go to college. They didn't own a car the whole time their kids were teenagers because they wanted their kids to go to college. If that's true, because I ain't doing that. when I was when I was trying to get my kids to go to college, I owned a car. Okay, I don't own one now, but I owned one then. I owned a car. Okay, and I told them, I says, why don't you go to a college that we can that we can afford? But I had to change of heart. When it was time for my kids to go to college, and I says, I seen my one daughter struggling to go to college. I says, you know what? If you want to really, really leave the state and go to college, let me see what I can do. And I gave her some ideas, and unfortunately, they never went to college. I don't know what happened. I was willing at that time to take the shirt off my back to send them to college, but they got cold feet when I told them that I was willing to really, 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 really do what it took to get them in college. They got cold feet and didn't go. I don't know what's up with that, but I don't see Mrs. Lana Lockteft's argument in that case of what that has to do with an IQ. Because before you can talk about an IQ, you got to sit down and open up the books, and you have to pass and fail and add up all those that passed and failed. But you got black kids that get cold feet about going to college. That doesn't sound like an IQ to me. When you got black kids that are going to college and coming out with, masters and coming out with PhDs and all like that. And it doesn't matter to me the numbers. Because when you talk about IQ, according to Miss Red Ice, you're talking about DNA. So it doesn't matter to me the numbers. Okay, what matters to me is the fact that today, if black folks want to go to college, they can. And that today, if they don't want to go to college, no one should be hating anybody for not going to college as long as they do their part in taking care of the family and, uh, helping out with the bills and so forth. I was taught that in school. If you ain't gonna, if you ain't gonna go to college, these are your options. That's what they told me. If you ain't gonna go to college, these are your options. Enough about college. I want to talk about real quickly, and then I'm gonna take my shower. Interracialism. What is wrong with interracialism? Does multiculturalism get rid of cultures? My question, or my answer rather, to that is no. Unless you're thinking that you are the dominant culture. Now, I do agree that if you have more land and you have more things practiced on that land and your government, see, there's a lot of things that's being blamed on black folks and a lot of things that are being blamed on white folks that is more government for whatever race war is going on in the government. Us people on the outside are attacking each other for something that's going on in the government. The government chooses, okay, what goes on in Hawaii. For Hawaiians to be over there hating on white people, okay, and for Hawaiians to be over there hating on blacks and anybody that ain't Hawaiian is just dumb. Second of all, when I was a kid, I never really got into the whole preaching about slavery. I was too busy having fun with my white friends to sit there and listen to any black folks, whether it be my relatives or whatever. I'd be in the living room watching TV and I heard my uncles and aunts in there talking about white this and white that. Okay. And meanwhile, my white friends calling me on the phone. Hey, man, you want to get out of the ghetto for the weekend? Um, you know, uh, it all depends on where you come from and how you were brought up. And um, it's it never it never appeared to me to be a situation of we're black and we're stuck. We don't know what the white man is going to come up with next. He going to come in here and take our homes. He going to come in here and I never felt that way. And I never felt that I ever had anything that if you came and got it, you couldn't give me something better. I guess that's one of the things, the truths that us black folks try to cover up. We try to act like we have something when we don't have anything. We might have sweet potato pie. I ain't never seen a white person make a good, maybe one. Maybe I might remember one white lady, and that was because she she compared a bunch of different black folks' sweet potato pies to each other's, and she picked the one that she liked the most and took the recipe. But most of my life, I've never seen a white person be able to make a really decent sweet potato pie. Okay, and the people that have made the best sweet potato pie that I've ever tasted are in jail. Either in jail or cracked out on drugs or something. Okay, so hey, look, um, there is nothing that you have that's positive that is uh, necessarily needed to be held on to that you can't share it. What is it with people who are afraid of interracialism? What are you afraid of? It's easy for us black folks, I guess, because anything that is added to us that isn't coming from slave culture, so to speak, or anything that comes at us that is pure from someone else's culture that didn't go through slavery, that isn't based on poor or based on, um, assistance. When a black man hooks up with a white woman who is, you know, college material, so to speak, okay? Her father and her mother were good people, hard workers that taught her a lot of things. And these people fall in love and get married. This black man has something that he feels now that he owns. That, he isn't dependent on the government for. If this white woman is, has had a well upbringing and has something to offer other than her looks and her beauty. If she is, a college graduate, if she is, a woman who knows how to handle money and finances and, I'm saying, this black man has something. He's got something. Let's get real. On both sides, he's got something. Okay? On the flip side of that coin, when a white woman is dating a black man, and I'm not talking about white women who date brothers from the hood. I'm talking about a real black man. A black man that loves being an American. A black man that's here to learn something about this country instead of just judging it because of slavery. And he can't just let that go. He just got to keep on and keep on and keep on finding something wrong with everybody in this country because he's unhappy with his life. But if I meet a white woman and I understand that she's white. She ain't some woman from across the river that looks white. That's a white woman. Her parents are white. Her grandparents are white. So I hook up with her and, we're in love and, you know, she feels that she has something that makes her feel. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand what some of these people like Miss Lana Lockteff and the red people, Red Ice, and, you know, the David Duke generation and people like that, I understand how they're thinking. They're thinking that, oh, you're dating a black man because you have white guilt. You feel that you owe the black people something, and you feel if you date a black man, that'll wipe your slate clean of racism. I don't think most white women that date black men think like that. I think when a white woman dates a black man, or a man of any other non-white race, I think she is identifying with her desire to interracialize. And I think she is identifying with her desire that racism does not work. It's a joke. And I think when people see racism as a joke, they will interracialize. Or they will support those that do interracialize. And I don't mean interracialize as a new culture, as some people are saying. That's another thing that needs to stop, as well as the Red Ice Network and stuff like that. We're not trying to rape the planet and make the planet more brown. If I woke up every day, if I woke up one day and everybody looked like me, I'd shoot myself. I don't want everybody to look like me. I don't want everybody to have my accent, have my coarse hairdo. I don't want everybody to, smell like me when they sweat. Okay? I don't want everybody, cooking and eating and having an exact culture like mine. I want everybody, this is what I want. I want everybody to have something to give me that blows my mind, that I have no clue about. And I look at that and I say, wow, you got something here. You know what I'm saying? What would this world be like without white people? Because black folks don't go near the water. Come on, man. If I go to Hawaii, do you know that when you go to Hawaii, now these Hawaiians don't think they black folks. In my opinion, they black folks. They black folks that didn't have to go through what these black folks over here was going through in America when they was going through it over there in Polynesia or whatever. But the thing is, them black folks, straight up, okay. But anyway, they don't see themselves as black folks, and they're not crazy about black folks or white folks. They think that they think that Hawaii, a lot of them, should be a separate country. They're still holding on to that. They want Hawaii to be a separate country from the rest of America. And I believe that the Hawaiians, the Native Americans, and many others need to chill with that nonsense, because the truth is, if you were capable of having a successful country independent of anybody else, you would have expanded by now. You would have been a light to this world by now. Okay? And, you would have been something that everybody is reaching for. Everybody wants what you got. Everybody don't want what the Hawaiians got. Don't nobody want their culture. People want their land. They want to go out there and get on the waves. But who do you see on them waves? Who do you see out there surfing? Who do you see walking the beach? I look at all these YouTube videos of Hawaii. The only time you see Hawaiians is when they cooking something, or when they dancing, or when they're playing the ukulele. To me, that's black folks. Regular old plain Jane black folks minus the ukulele. Okay? But who do you see on the surf? Who do you see spending all these thousands of dollars to go over there and be crazy enough to go way out into the mountains and get that close to the volcanoes and go through the rocks and the waves and you know, tell you anything you want to know about Hawaii. Not the king, not King Kalamaka, if that was his name. Not the king and the queen, that were pagan, by the way. Which is why America wanted to take it over. Just like they took over the black folks. Paganism. Okay? Fighting against paganism. Okay? But, who do you see on the waves? Who do you see enjoying the mountains? Who do you see out there in the hot sun in Hawaii? You see white folks. White, 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 white. And not only because the Hawaiians don't want to socialize with non-Hawaiian people, but because this is the beautiful thing about white people taking over this nation. Because they really take it over. They know how to live in a ghetto for a small period of time and then move out of the ghetto and then move into a better place. They know how to save up money to do something crazy like go to Hawaii and surf. They know how to go hiking and climb the mountains and wave at the mountain lions 20 feet away. Who's going on the safaris in Africa? Oh yeah, the black man, the African man will take you on a safari, but he ain't going on none himself. Who's going on the safaris in Africa? Who spends all this money to leave here and go over there? To a country that's supposed to be my people. And I ain't even thinking about going over there. Who? White folks. White folks going over there and spending money in Africa. If I was white, I'd be scared to death to go over there. And this is the difference between someone who really feels that they are an American and somebody that's just really trying to find that out. Now, it is true that we have the recognition problem of what is considered an American and what is not. When Asians come over here to America, when Africans come over here to America, you know, when Arabs come over here to America, they do not consider black people Americans. They think they still look at us as the people that lost. And that's unfair for all of us. That's just wrong. Nobody should be that way. Nobody should feel that, oh, we're just the people that lost. We lost everything. Who cares about it? That's the flip side of this whole race war that everybody's trying to get together. Nobody should be looking at us. I don't care how much black mob violence is going on the streets. Mr. Colin Flaherty, you got 100,000 blacks like me that have not bowed the knee to Bell. Okay? And they're all over the place too. All you got to do is go to work and you'll see them. Okay? Or get into politics and you'll see them. Okay? Or go to a business and that you can't, that where they're covering up for the person that owns the business, and you'll find out he's probably black. That's why you never meet him. Okay? There's a lot of people that aren't out here to riot and to rape and kill the planet. Like me. There's lots of us. I meet people like me just about every day of my life. I can go to work every day, and the difference between me and white people, I can look at another black person and I can tell that he's like me. Whereas to a lot of people, he's just black. And that means he's capable of anything ugly. He's capable of anything wrong. Okay? But I can see I can go to a black person and I can say I trust him. And I can go to a white person and I can say I trust him and I trust what he thinks and feels about me. I know him and I have something in common. He could be a cop, he could be a teacher, he could be a preacher. It doesn't matter. I can see what I have in common with him. In closing, as I said in the last video, God told the Jews from the beginning of their nation till the end, he said two things that you need to remember. Write it down. He says, through you, all the nations. Now, some people think this means the black nations. Stupid. Shut up. Go stick your head in a hole somewhere. That's a lie. It said it just like he said it. Through you, all the nations shall be blessed. Those that bless you will be blessed. And you shall be a blessing. America needs to think about this. Black folks need to think about this. Whites need to think about this. Jews need to think about this. Okay? He also said, call no man common or unclean. And he also showed interracial relationships. Solomon was married to interracially. Okay? David had wives that were outside of his nation. Okay? His father. Moses dated outside. Moses married a woman, outside of his race. The Bible is the best thing that ever happened to me. And after all these years and after all these so-called turnarounds, which that's not what the book of Ecclesiastes says. The book of Ecclesiastes says that everything that goes around will come back around again. And so what we see going on in America today is we see black folks, through maybe this George Soros guy, I guess, creating a race war, and there's white people that are excited about that because to them that's an opportunity to bring back the days of slavery, and they're telling themselves, listen to them, they're telling themselves that those were the days when black people acted better, when they were in complete control of black people in every little move that they made. And sometimes, when people act like criminals, and a lot of people today, not just black folks, but a lot of Trump haters, period, okay, are out of control. And somebody needs to lock them up until they get their butt in gear, until somebody knocks some sense into their head, okay? Because this country was not found on the last generation. This country was found on the first generation, okay? And so if you want to let the last generation overtake everything, you need to figure out what you're going to do with the first generation, the posterity of the first generation of this country. And I'm a person of the first generation. I know it sounds stupid, minus the slavery. Okay, and I know it sounds stupid. You can't just go, the first generation was slaves and we're trying to get rid of people like that. I believe there's a lot of good white people. I meet them every day. Every day. And I believe that if you give them nothing to fear, they'll even be better white people. Black folks, white people are scared out of their mind at you. of you, of the new you. These black people today, I've said it in all my videos, are not the offspring of slaves. These are the offspring of thugs. A lot of these young black folks coming up by single black mothers. And why wouldn't I believe that when I meet their single black mothers and the world revolves around them? Then you got these dumb groups like Mr. Polite and Cyanetta calling the black woman God. That's another video. A video I've already done anyway. There's nothing wrong with interracialism because interracialism is honest. It's honest. Because we lie to ourselves when we say that we're not attracted to each other. We lie to ourselves when we say, when a black man, for the sake of racism, has to say that a white woman isn't beautiful, you're a fat liar. There ain't a single black man out there that ain't attracted to white women. There might be some black men out there that are more attracted to white women than he is to his sisters. And there may be less white men attracted to certain women of brown skin than others. But take it from everybody from Africa to Asia to Iran. Everybody's attracted to white women. And I hate to bust your bubble, but whatever God has put together, let no man put asunder. I'm twisting the scripture, that's talking about marriage. Well, even in interracialism, whatever God has joined together, not whatever white people has joined together, not whatever black people has joined together, but whatever God has joined together, let no man put asunder. That's what the Bible says. Whatever God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Now, I agree. If a black man wants to marry a white woman just to slap black women in the face, you're wrong, brother. You're wrong. If a black woman wants to marry a white man just to smack black men in the face and kick them in the groin, okay, that's wrong, sister. That's wrong. And if white people want to hook up with black folks or some other race that's non-white because they are trying to slap so-called white supremacy or racism in the face, you're not going to have a very successful marriage. You marry because you love the person that you're married with. First of all, you're attracted to him. You're attracted to him. Okay? And then, once you find out what you have in common, you fall in love, and that's it. In Jesus' name. If it's in the Lord. That's why I'm a Christian, because anybody can come together and fall apart. Anybody can be attracted to somebody and then cheat on them with somebody that's uglier. Okay? Nothing but Jesus holds everything together. And when you feel like you're falling apart, then you grab a hold of Jesus. You say, hey, Lord, I'm slipping. Help me. But atheism is not the answer. And atheism is more racist. They are the biggest liars. They lie about how they feel about race. They lie about how they feel about religion. Because atheists will hate on Christians, but then practice Satanism. Okay? They'll sit there and hate on Christmas and then practice Halloween. What a hypocrite. Okay, I had a guy send me an email just not too long ago. He said, "Oh, I hate anything that's got Jesus in it, but I love me some Halloween." Okay. Halloween is very religious, knucklehead. Okay, even more religious than Christmas, and you know what I mean? Because, Halloween was all about what Halloween is really about. It was all about rape and murder and going into homes and taking out the virgins and raping them and killing the family and all that kind of stuff. The Druid religion is what Halloween really comes from. That's another video. But I'm just saying, there's so much hypocrisy. And if we can get by that, then we can understand where we really stand as a race. Like I said to Miss Red Ice in my videos, you're nothing special because you're white. Okay? Separation is not the answer. And let me say something else before I close. One more thing. In this country right here, which is one of the reasons why it's so powerful, people have businesses because they have supposedly slaves. Everything from black folks to Asians to Mexicans working under them for less money than what they could be getting. Because as I said in the first video that I did of this, the less slaves you've got, the more you have to share what you got. And the more you share, the less you got for yourself. Donald Trump, I love you like a brother. But you know it's true. Because in order for you to have big business, you got to have people working under you that can't afford to live like you. Let me say that again. In order for you to have success in this country, especially success in business, you got to have people that working under you that can't afford to live like you do. You got to have people working for you, okay, that can't live in the same neighborhood that you live in. And that's not a black and white thing. Tell my white brothers out here that, okay? They know that. They know that. They know that it's not a black or white thing. It's a rich and a poor thing. Because these white folks, they consider themselves as slaves. I go through it every day. And they ain't retaliating against black folks when they say it to me. So, there's nothing wrong with interracialism. We don't need to separate. What we need to do is we need to join together and build a culture that pleases God. And when we have a culture that is right with God, then we have a culture that is right for everybody and good for everybody. It's not about separation. People want to separate because they think that makes them who they are. If we're white and we don't allow any brownness to come into our little coffin, okay, then that means that we're powerful and that means that we're special. If we're black and we're able to get away from everything white and create our own and create our own rules and laws for our own neighborhoods and cultures and all like that, then we're strong and we're powerful. The Jews feel the same way. The Asians, the Koreans, this knucklehead over in what is it, North Korea, I think it is, feels the same way. Why should we feel the same way as a loser like that? But, we need to come together as one. Not saying that you have to get rid of your positive things that came from your white culture or your black culture or your Spanish culture or Asian culture or whatever. But again, in closing, race is where you come from. Culture is what we, when we come together, have created the laws and policies that make us a culture, regardless of the color of our skin. Okay? And America is a culture in itself once we get back to making America great again. God bless you. 152 here in Pittsburgh on December the 28th. I said this video would be short, but I'm sorry I did make it long. I will talk to you soon. Please leave a comment, let me know so I can make more videos. God bless you, and once again, Merry Christmas.